Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is William Watkins. I'm the Director of Workforce Development for the Urban League. You just don't know what this day means to me personally. Some people do. For a young man who grew up in Franklin Field Projects and able to come back to his city and provide a service to his community is something just overwhelming. I never even imagined that I would be in front of so many people and so many cameras to talk about something that is so dear and near to me. I know as growing up in the city of Boston and the disparities that go on through healthcare, housing, employment is still the same since I was a young man here in Boston. And I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a difference for the middle gap, for those mothers and fathers who are trying to prepare their young people for the difficult times of life, but they try to make the road easy for them. And they're trying to figure out every day how they are going to make it from day to day. And when the financial collapse came in 2008, some of those people are still in peril. And we wanted to make sure that we had a program that addressed that middle gap. So the program we're announcing today is called Msimbo. 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 It is Swahili for code. And I think about the Native Americans who were during World War II and was coders. I think about those Africans that came over here before the Middle Passage, and they used a code to communicate. And I wanted to bring that language to the Urban League. I must admit that this is really, really overwhelming for me. And I have to admit, I have to thank my friend Liz Schwab. If it wasn't for President Obama putting out an RFP to say, hey, we want to decrease the number of H-1Bs, and the Urban League sat down with Google at that time to figure out how could we do that. And that was 3 years ago. But I heard a speech by Dr. Steve Venter from Google, and he talked about this skill gap. And as you hear more and more about STEM, when you hear the word STEM, you think of young people. But guess what? If my child comes to me as an adult and says, hey, could you help me with my homework? I couldn't. So I wanted to make sure those adults were learning the language so that they can even help their young people. So when Dr. Venter talked about this space in IT, I said there's a group of people that are not being served. And that's those people that lost their jobs in 2008, and they're still trying to make ends meet. So I wanted to make sure there was a place for them. Because when we talk about STEM, we think of young people. When we talk about bringing jobs, we're thinking about young people. But there are still some Bostonians that needs jobs, and they're not too old to work. They still have full of life. But I want to introduce to you a man who has allowed me to do the things that I do here at the Urban League, allow me to use my skills and talents, and I call him a mentor. But more than that, I call him a friend. Some of them might say he's my boss, but I know truly he's my friend. And he fights every day for this community, every day, making sure that we're not on the table, but we're at the table. So I want to introduce to you Darnell L. Williams, the president and CEO of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. William has probably left me about 3 seconds of commentary, but I'm most grateful for his passion. But I'm also very, very grateful that we have Mayor Walsh and Governor Baker here, along with our corporate partners who have saw the benefit and the value of what we're trying to do. And I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. The mayor's going to acknowledge you, China, so we got it covered. The thing is that today is really real simple. That when you have a governor and a mayor and you have corporate partners who believe in a community, that they're willing to invest their time and their resources to make it happen, that's a good story. That's a good story. That's a win-win. That's a triple hit somewhere over the green monster. That's what this is all about, because it means that we can make a difference in the lives of people. We can make a difference in the life of this community and the vitality of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So I could go on and on and on. I just want you to know that I am excited that the Urban League and all of the partners and the folks who work behind the scenes, that we are going to impact the diversity within this industry. That's why this is a win-win, and so I'm just grateful. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Chief Executive Officer of this city, our friend and our colleague and our partner, Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Darnell, and I want to thank you for that introduction, and thank you for having us today.
Yes,
We're excited to be here. All of us are very excited to be here today. I want to, a couple shout outs. I want to thank the governor as well. Obviously, he's excited as well, because what we're going to talk about today with the companies that are here, coding is important. We have Chief Yasha Franklin Hodge, who's here from the city of Boston, who's transformed the way that we do technology and just about everything we do in the city of Boston. And I know that Yasha's excited today because we've been talking about this stuff for the last 3 years in the city. I also want to acknowledge as somebody who's doing incredible work here in Roxbury, in Dorchester, as a state representative, and this woman, she walks the walk, man. She's out everywhere we can do, and that's Representative China Tyler. Thank you, Representative. When I say she's the real deal, she's the real deal. We were texting last weekend actually we text a lot, but last week about a program she was having in her neighborhood about creating opportunities, and this is right what she does every single day. So thank you, Representative. I want to thank Alicia. I want to thank Liz. I want to thank Kendra. I want to thank Bank of America. I want to thank Google. I want to thank BNY and Mellon. Darnell, I want to thank you as well. But William, I want to thank you. That opening was powerful. Thank you for that. And William brought up a point of disparities 30, 40, 50 years ago when he was younger, and we're still fighting those today. And that's something that we're still talking about that today. And I think it's important that as we think about creating opportunities, we think about how do we do that. And I think today is a huge step. I want to thank Google, Bank of America, BNY Mellon for their commitment to the city and the city's people. They're helping create pipelines of diversity. They're helping continue to build a strong economy. They're also working on partnerships, and that's something I think that this makes a difference. This isn't just an announcement. For the press that's here, this is not just an announcement of 3 corporations making an investment in the city of Boston and we're going to help people like we always say. This is different. This is a coding academy. It's going to change lives. I walked by the room, the academy where it was going to happen. This is actually taking people into this building and training people. That's the difference here. It's something that's going to be important. It's going to help break down barriers to opportunities for people of color in underserved communities. And it's going to help diversify our tech industry. We started it 3 years ago over at the Bowling Building when we created the Roxbury Innovation Lab. We started putting a little room in there, and we said, okay, how do we take it to the next step? Feet away from that building, the Urban League now has taken it to a whole new level by having coding in this building and be able to create more opportunities and more pathways. It's going to help, as I said, help us in Massachusetts. It's going to help us break down systemic barriers for the people of color, and it's going to be able to help our residents reach their full potential. And I'm excited that the governor's here because, you know, last weekend a lot of people were talking about the relationship and what we did in the city of Boston. And, you know, we were pleased that last week in the city of Boston we had a relatively peaceful weekend. But this is the stuff why we ran for office. Confronting the challenges that people have and breaking down those barriers, whether it's in the city of Boston or the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So when you think about the partnership, this truly is a partnership between the Urban League, the state, and the city, and the companies that are here involved. The best way to break cycles is by social and economic mobility, and the strongest tool is education. The tech industry is our fastest growing industries in Boston and in Massachusetts, and it's certainly creating jobs for the future. These jobs will require STEM skills. As William said, STEM skills, we automatically think it's young people. We don't think of people, and I figure myself as a young person at the age of 50. I'm a young 50 years old. But it's important for us as we continue to think about is educate people throughout our areas. We need to talk more about STEM learning opportunities for our adults, especially those are the ones that have aged out of the traditional learning opportunities. I was asked by the reporter earlier today, why is this important? Why is this program important? Because anytime that there's a conversation about jobs in Roxbury, Mattapan, and Dorchester, everyone automatically goes to construction. Everyone automatically says, what about construction? People can shovel and sweep and clean and build things. And there's a lot more to life than just construction. And this creates a whole new pathway, a whole new opportunities, another area for more opportunities in the neighborhoods of the city of Boston. I want to end by thanking the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. I want to thank Donnell. I know that he's had, in the last couple of years, tough fiscal times, but he's kept moving forward, kept this organization moving forward, not afraid to jump in the middle of a fight and not afraid to jump in the middle of creating opportunities for training. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the state and our partners at the state for all their great support. I want to thank the city of Boston as well, the people that I work with. Tracy Litcutt is here. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Yasha, and some of the other folks that we're going to work with here. And again, Google, Bank of America, BNY Mellon, thank you for your support. And of course, to our new students and all the students here, congratulations. And to all the students that are going to come through this building, thank you. And Rep, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a person in the room who happens to represent 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. And I know from my own experience, he's been to all of them. But he has an ability to transform, and I think what I like about our current governor is the governor just does not think about party or affiliation. He thinks what's in the best interest for the residents of the Commonwealth. And he's been that way since he's been a candidate. He's been that way as a governor. He's been that way because he's shown leadership. He's spoken out on issues, and how he's here today to demonstrate support for what we are talking about in this particular space. But more importantly, I think that he's no stranger to the Urban League. We've had him here on multiple occasions, and I'm just happy and pleased to say that I have the opportunity to present to some and introduce the others, the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker.
Darnell and I were just sharing a moment about a particular barbecue that took place in the parking lot of the Urban League during the campaign in 2014, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So shortly after we took office in 2015, I went to my first National Governors Association meeting in February of 2015, which was in Washington, D.C., and about 35, 40 governors were there, and we had a big discussion about economic development. And one of the questions that the moderator of the event asked was, what's the single biggest impediment to job growth and economic development in your state? And they went around the room and they asked each person who was there this question. And I thought some people would talk about taxes and regulation and trade policy and a whole bunch of other things. I said snow, because at that point in time, I literally could not think about anything other than that. But what was interesting was of the 35 or 38 governors that were there, I would say more than 30 of them said skill building. This was, in fact, for most governors, the single biggest issue with respect to economic development and job creation in their states. And at this point in time, that continues to be true. We have more open job positions posted in the United States of America than we have at any point in our nation's history. And the challenge for all of us is to find ways to help folks who are looking for a way into the workforce for the first time or back into the workforce as the economy continues to change and grow, to help folks be part of those changes. And one of the things I did when I came back from that conference was we created for the first time in Massachusetts a workforce skills cabinet, which was Ron Walker, who was then the Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, Jim Pizer, who's the Secretary of Education, and Jay Ash, who was the Housing and Economic Development Secretary. And I said, okay, guys, we need to really get smart about making sure that what we're doing in skill building is creating skills for people that they can actually translate and turn into a job. And a lot of the work we've done investing directly in skill builders over the course of the last few years, capital grant programs, operating grant programs, has all been built on this notion that if we're better and smarter about making sure that we are partnering with organizations like the Urban League and with private entities like Bank of America and Google and BNY Mellon, we are going to create skills that people can turn into jobs and can take those jobs and turn them into opportunity. And for me, part of the reason I'm here today is the Urban League is a key player in our workforce development and skill building universe. And but for us to truly be successful in these endeavors, we've got to be doing things that fit with what folks on the corporate side are looking for. And some of the programming I'm most pleased with respect to what we've developed has been the stuff that's directed specifically to opportunities for work. And whether you're talking about a coding program here or the STEM programs we've got or the STEM internship programs we have, and by the way, Massachusetts graduates more kids with STEM degrees on a per capita basis than any other state in the country, okay? It's a big part of why we're successful. But as William said, as Darnell said, as the mayor said, we have to be better, we have to do more. And having an opportunity to be here today to support this type of initiative and to say thank you to the corporate folks who are stepping up to make sure that folks in this community have an opportunity working with the Urban League and working with these organizations to create the kinds of skills that are going to make it possible for them to build a life and build a career. That's exactly the sort of thing we should be championing and promoting, and that's why I'm here. And Mayor, I just want to say how much I appreciate the work that you do in this space with your team and with Ron and with others. And Darnell, to the Urban League and to William, congratulations. This is a great opportunity for you all to do great things with great partners here in this community, and we look forward to continuing to have opportunities to work on this with all of you going forward, because believe me, there's nothing more frustrating for me, for the mayor, for Representative Tyler and others, to be out and about and to be talking to people who are trying to find their way in to an economy that's creating jobs and not be able to find the place or the space that can make it possible for it to happen. And that's why this is so important, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
I'm going to bring, let me make sure we acknowledge Stephanie for being part of the Bank of America team up here representing us as well. William, I think you're going to take the last half, and then I think there might be some time for Q&A. I think the governor has to depart. I want you, William, to close it out.
All right, I want to bring up to the stage. I want to bring up Liz Schwab from Google. I told you a bit about my journey with them, but I'm glad to have them on board as a partner, and thank you, Liz, again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to be here. My name is Liz Schwab. I head up public affairs for Google here in Massachusetts. And I would love to start just with the congratulations. You all have worked incredibly hard. William says I'm his friend because we talk. We were talking a lot for a long time. But seriously, congratulations. This is really incredible, and you should be proud. And the launch of this program really can't come soon enough. As everyone has commented, our economy is really strong. There's a huge opportunity for roles that require IT skills, that require computer science, computational thinking, really across industries, right? I think it's not just technology, and that's a misconception. It's healthcare, it's finance, it's banking, it's retail. It's really industry-wide across the region and across the state. Unfortunately, as others have commented, that economic growth and those opportunities are still not available for everybody. And statistically, as we know, they're not there for people of color, and they're not there for women. And so programs like this are incredibly important for us to start and get underway and make sure that the economic growth that we're experiencing here is available to everyone, that it's representative of our city, and frankly, that it helps drive our economy forward. As the governor said, there's more roles open than we can fill, and we need everyone to take part in that. Msimbo also aligns perfectly with Google's global giving priorities. Since 2014, Google.org has awarded more than $15 million to nonprofits and training programs just like Msimbo, who are providing computer science and computational thinking education to minorities and to women. Locally here in Massachusetts, we've awarded more than $19 million since 2011 to nonprofits and universities that are doing similar work, that are also increasing access to the internet and using technology to impact scale and improve services. We're really proud of that. Today we are thrilled to add the Urban League to that list. And more importantly, we're really excited to see this first cohort of students get started with their training and access some of these careers. Thank you.
Bank of America, I can't say enough about them. I remember when we had our career fair, and we announced that they were giving us $100,000 for the Msimbo program. And since that time, I have to say, they have been totally engaged. I want to thank the PR, Shandwick, for their outstanding work to get us to this point. I want to bring up Stephanie Mack from Bank of America.
Good morning. I'd like to start off by saying what an honor it is to be here with you, Governor Baker, Mayor Walsh, and the other public officials who took the time out of their busy schedules to join us today. On behalf of my 5,000 Bank of America colleagues here in the Commonwealth, it's a privilege to continue our long-standing partnership with the Urban League, a relationship that spans decades. Darnell, we're all better off for your insightful and steadfast leadership toward improving lives and building a stronger, thriving community in Boston. Msimbo and programs like it help create a much-needed bridge for economic mobility, a bridge for all. It also provides employers like Bank of America with a pipeline of talent that reflects diverse communities where our employees and our customers live and work. William, there you are. We're so proud to continue this initiative with you. Bank of America and its legacy institutions have been serving Massachusetts for more than 230 years. We're invested in Roxbury, as you can see from our recently renovated, community-oriented Dudley Square Financial Center. And we're also committed to other collaborations that help make lives better. I'd like to close by saying thank you to Google and the Arthur F. Blanchard Trust for joining us and investing in the Urban League and the new face of coding professionals in Boston. We look forward to advancing in this initiative together. Thank you.
BNY Mellon. I was in D.C. and I got a call from Allie from BNY Mellon, and we were having some conversations in and around the funding, and I can hear her strong interest in Msimbo. At that time, she didn't tell me we were going to get the money, but I can hear it in her voice that we wanted to back this program. And I want to thank you personally for that phone call. But better yet, thank you for the check. But I want to bring up Kendra Watkins to the podium from BNY Mellon.
Thank you, and yes, thank you, Allie, for finding Msimbo. We are so excited for this partnership. I'd first like to extend a special thank you to Darnell and William for hosting this wonderful event, and to Governor Baker and Mayor Walsh. Thank you for participating in this exciting announcement for our Commonwealth and for the city of Boston. And to our Msimbo partners, really our commitment is to helping diversify the workforce here in Massachusetts. At BNY Mellon, we steer our philanthropic efforts to areas where we can have the greatest impact on society. Our vision of improving lives through investing focuses on the economic capacity of countries, institutions, and communities to advance the financial well-being of the people of the world and build next-generation business and technology skills to contribute to society in a digital world. Through the Arthur F. Blanchard Trust, we are proud to announce our investment in the young adults that will participate in the Msimbo program. We believe that by investing in economic empowerment and technology and digital capacity building, we can create positive and sustainable change now and in the future. We are committed to supporting organizations like the Ubran League who work to close the digital access divide and help promote pathways to technology careers through education, training, mentoring, and skill building. We want to ensure that all individuals have access to the 21st century tools that they need to be successful. There are simply not enough adequately trained people to fill the current demand for computing jobs nationwide. There's a desire for them, but we really need to be able to bring those training programs to them. States need more programs like Msimbo to help address this need. So again, on behalf of the Arthur F. Blanchard Trust, managed by BNY Mellon, we thank the Ubran League for their commitment to closing the digital access divide that individuals in the Commonwealth here are facing. Also, thank you to Google and Bank of America. It's a pleasure to partner with you on this exciting endeavor.
Now, this is the part of the program where we'll take Q&A. We do have some of the students in the room here, and I can tell you we have a retired police officer. We have a young lady who has worked in government. We have a wide range of people that will be participating in this program, and it's just a great opportunity for all of us involved. So I'll take any questions. Also, I want to mention that the instructor is here too, Franklin Onua, right. Come up here, Franklin. So I won't have to keep saying it. And one thing about this program is that we had to go and find someone who can speak the language of coding. And it was...
it wasn't me.
Right. And it was a pleasure. It was definitely a pleasure in finding Franklin because at first I thought there was no one in the space in Boston that I could find that would be culturally sensitive to this community. And when I, for HR professionals, we see the name first. and I didn't know what was behind the name. And when he came in, I was impressed with his intellect and his grasp of this language. But I was also impressed by his resume. His resume was just off the Richter scale, and it's a diamond in rough, you know. And I was able to get him so we can do our own coding program in house. So, any questions and answers? Questions?
How many students at a time do you anticipate educating?
18 students. And the program will start September the 18th. And it's a 20-week program. They will go from 9 to 4, just like a regular work day. And there will be, of course, the hard skills, but soft skills are also a part of the program as well.
What type of career opportunities will this prepare them for?
Career opportunities that it will prepare them for are careers in UX design, careers in mobile application development, web development. It's a vast array of tech jobs within learning this skill set, which makes it really great because it's just not only from the standpoint of I want to be a coder, I want to be, there's other aspects where people like me who actually enjoy education, who may want to teach it, who may want to also incorporate that in from an entrepreneurial aspect. So it's really versatile in the pathways that one can really explore their career opportunities after they encompass this program.
I see people shaking their head. They like that answer. Okay. All right. All right. I want to thank everyone for coming out today, and we'll be around if anyone wants to ask additional questions. Thank you.